I'm Mark Matthews with the Saskatchewan Rush. You're watching NLL on TSN.
Welcome back to Saskatoon as we get ready for the Rush and Roughnecks from SaskTel Center. Chilly night inside, but it is definitely going to get heated up here inside the arena as we welcome you back for this All-Tournament Cup matchup, All-Canadian matchup. It's the 51st matchup all-time between the Rush and Roughnecks, dating back to when the Rush were in Edmonton. And that maybe skews the numbers because in those early days, the Rush, we weren't very good. But now, kind of switched the other way, and it's starting to become a little more even.
Yeah, you remember of that rivalry once upon a time, Teddy, and yeah, this Saskatchewan, since they've become the Saskatchewan Rush, much more dominant. They've evened out the season series 29-21 all-time for the Roughnecks.
Time now for your starting goaltenders, presented by Guaranteed Rate. It'll be Christian Del Bianco between the pipes for the Roughnecks. He was 5-5 last year with a 10.94 goals against, and one of the best young goaltenders across the league.
Yeah, he's already a champion, elite minutes, elite passing ability on Christian Del Bianco. As he goes, the Roughnecks go.
What a beaut. Adam Shute will get the start here tonight for the Rush, and he's looking like going to be their number one with the departure of Evan Kirk.
Yeah, the crease is his, and no one seems to care in the Rush organization. You know, this is a guy that only played 10 games over the years as a backup to Evan Kirk. It's now his net. He's, 30+ years old, but this is his time. The Rush still have built one of the best defenses in the National Lacrosse League in front of them, so they're happy with what Adam Schute's going to bring.
Let's get you our starters for tonight's game for the Rush. Matt Beers, Kyle Rubish, Mike Messenger, Chris Corbeil, Robert Church. And for the Roughnecks, Andrew Mullen, Eli Salama, Mitch Wild, Ethan Ticehurst, and Zach Currier. Scratches for the Rush, Mike Mallory and Tristan Rye. And for the Calgary Roughnecks, Marshall King and Kyle Waters. King out because they get Tyler Pace back in the lineup.
Yeah, and that's a big boost for the Calgary Roughnecks offense. With Tyler Pace in the lineup, he can facilitate as well. You know, the ball is going to have to be in Curtis Dixon's stick a lot, but Tyler Pace is the guy who can direct traffic as well, and he's going to add a little bit of injection. And Zach Haywire strides into the lineup on the lefty side of the floor for the Calgary Roughnecks, and he's going to bring a veteran presence. They dressed 5 rookies last week, but I think they need the veteran grit of Haywires against this Rush team.
It'll be Currier and Messenger at the face-off dot. Chris Williams will get us started along with Andrew Ecclestone and David Westwood. An all-Canadian matchup from SaskTel right here on TSN. And we are underway. Loose ball will be picked up there by Rubish and eventually found by Corbeil. The offense gets going right away. It's the captain Corbeil, the Church one-timer. What a save off the hop by Christian Del Bianco. And that's how you start your first home game in 644 days for the Rush. An excellent opportunity off the opening draw. Mullen gets knocked to the ground, but able to find it to Jesse King. Quickly pressured there by Matt Beers. Tyler Pace, far side, watched there by McClellan. Comes around the top. Pace, time and rim, scores! First shot, first goal for the Roughnecks. And Pace has his first of the season, just 35 seconds in.
It's like we were just talking about him in the setup. Tyler Pace on cue. Right back in the lineup, right back into the back of the net. A nice righty snipe here as we take a second look at this opportunity, but comes right through the middle, has some time and room, and goes short side high. Welcome back to Calgary, T-Pace.
Yeah, just time and room, got his hands free, Rush worked sliding, and excellent opportunity there for Tyler Pace. And when he was in the lineup last year, in and out of the lineup last year, 14 games, 10 assists, 14 goals, 10 assists in 7 games played in that shortened season. And looks like we're just having some clock issues here inside SaskTel.
So this is interesting to watch tonight. Zach Currier, who was a face-off phenom in the college game with Princeton, hasn't taken a lot of NLL face-offs. No Tyler Bird in the lineup for the Calgary Roughnecks, so Currier took every draw last week, but he's too valuable to be taking all the face-offs for the Calgary Roughnecks. They need him doing other things on the floor. So Reese Callies just took the first draw, or the second draw here for the Roughnecks. So we'll see him switch off a little bit tonight.
Matt Sawolka, the rookie from Calgary, the local boy who's playing for his hometown team, gets triple teamed. And he picked up there by Jeff Shatler. And we'll talk about Shatler as the night goes on, but let's just preface this with he will go down as most likely, before Lyle Thompson kind of hangs him up, he'll go down as the best Indigenous player to play in the National Lacrosse League. And we will talk about some of his numbers in his storied career in his 16th season. Here's Lindner, outside shot, hit a body, never went through. Josh Currier, brother of Zach. Ball loose. Close to be grabbed there by Del Bianco, and they'll push it out to the side to Eli Salama. Salama across the center, gives it off to the goal scorer, Tyler Pace. Curtis Dixon out there, last man is Hairwire. Into the corner, King. Jesse King around the top, finds Dixon, time and room, and he'll shoot, and again, Adam Shoot makes the save, and there's Matt Beers diving to keep it from rolling across the goal line.
You know, it's something to watch for, Teddy. And you and I were talking about this a couple days ago. Is Shoot does sort of lose the ball, sometimes loses track of the ball when he, for his rebound control. We'll see if any of those tricklers end up in the back of the net tonight, like that one almost did.
Outside shot by Keenan, turned aside by Del Bianco. Jesse King finds that loose ball, and he's got to hurry across center for the 8-second violation. Dixon. Far side. Hayden Dixon. So there's Curtis Dixon, 17. Hayden Dixon wears 97. Both from the lower mainland of British Columbia, but not related. Dilks. Lindner, swim move. Pushed back there by Courier. And here comes Mark Matthews. 6 assists, including 5 on the power play last week against Saskatchewan. Comes around the top, flips it inside to Keane. That pass was a little too far in front of him. And loose ball be grabbed there by the goaltender, Del Bianco. And he'll float it up ahead. Here come the Roughnecks in transition.
Good pace to start this lacrosse game, and not just Tyler Pace, but good tempo to this lacrosse game. We see the Calgary Roughnecks run a lot. When Christian Del Bianco makes a save, you got 2 or 3 Roughnecks players looking to force transition.
King underneath, tried to go short side, saved there by Shoot, gets his own rebound, but then it'll fall loose. McClellan will push it to Matt Pierce. Chatelain. Far side sets up, watch there by Simpson, comes near side Courier. Robert Church around the top. And that one knocked out of the stick of young Marshall Palace. Quickly up ahead, numbers in transition, 2-on-1. Cook, shoot, scores! Far side, Tanner Cook off the feed from Simpson. And the Rosh lead at 2-0.
It's a good change by Calgary Roughnecks to get the offensive player out there, Tanner Cook, but it all starts with the defensive play by Reese Cowley's kind of picks on the rookie Marshall Powless a little bit, strips him, and then he starts the transition. Simpson quickly up the floor, and Tanner Cook off the bench. And the Rook finds Twines, 2-0 Calgary. They're controlling the pace of this game so far.
Tanner Cook played in his first game last weekend, had a goal and an assist, including 3 loose balls. Had 230 points in his junior career, and played a bit of college at UNC as a Tar Heel.
6'3", big boy. Kermalowski says he's got a man's body. He plays like it. He doesn't look like a rookie out there.
Off the draw. Picked up there by the Roughnecks. That's Ethan Ticehurst, the speedster out of Coquitlam. He was drafted a couple years ago by this Roughnecks club, just like Tanner Cook, and unable to play because they were finishing school. Diagonal feed to Wild. Goes wide. And then Wild couldn't handle it. Picked up there by Mike Messenger, who was an absolute terror the other weekend against Halifax, doing it all. Now here he comes in transition. Messenger shoots, kicked aside by Del Bianco. Liam LeClaire quickly up ahead. 4.5 gone here in a quick moving first quarter. 2-0 Calgary. Simpson. Dixon, near side. Dan Taylor diving, scoring, what a goal! Wow, 3-0 Calgary. In the blink of an eye, that one goes cross floor, over Shoot's shoulder. And the Roughnecks have a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, I don't know what's prettier, the pass or the finish, is the youngsters getting it done here in the early stages for the Calgary Roughnecks. Another look here. So this ball starts on the lefty side of the floor. Hayden Dixon's come streaking in on the doorstep. And buries in the air, kind of a slam dunk alley-oop, if you will. 3-zip Calgary. Good way to take the life out of this building. This is one of the loudest buildings, if not the loudest building in the National Lacrosse League. Suck some life out of it with a 3-goal run to open things up.
And you might have thought that it was Curtis Dixon diving cross crease to make that goal, but it was Hayden Dixon out of Delta, BC. He had a goal last weekend. He had 6 points in the shortened season 2 years ago.
Yeah, 21 years old, Hayden Dixon. They drafted him out of junior, the Delta Islanders, and foregone college lacrosse, and sometimes it's tough to see you don't see as many 21-year-olds in the league as you do with guys outside of college at 25-year-old rookies. But Dixon, he's elite.
Hairwires tried to flip it to King, but that was picked off by Ryan Dilks. Dilks will shoot, try to go 5-hole, and Del Bianco will hold it. And we will go to break. The Roughnecks off to a hot start. Pace got it going, but Dixon goes airborne. It's 3-0 Roughnecks. Come back from Saskatoon.
Talk about unity. We want to talk about inclusion. The lands that we wake up on each and every morning is Treaty 6 territory, but we share these lands with the Cree people, the Dakota people, the Saulteaux people, the Métis people, the Dene people, and the non-Indigenous people. This is what reconciliation is, and we want to thank everybody for being part of reconciliation, because we are making a difference in the city of Saskatoon and in this province, in this country, and we got to continue to work together to be united to make a difference so everyone has a quality of life.
That was loud. Back inside SaskTel Center, and an incredible moment here before the game started. The land acknowledgement done by some local elders and tribes people just continues to show the correlation and connection that this sport has with the Indigenous culture and the Creators Game.
Yeah, and you mentioned Jeff Shatler earlier, Teddy. He's been a big part of that. He's really reached out to the community here. He's one of the only players for Saskatchewan that lives in Market, lives here in Saskatoon, and can really make those community connections and do some outreach. And amazing on the floor and amazing off the floor for the game of lacrosse is Jeff Shatler.
Another chance inside off the stick of Hayden Dixon, but he had it checked at the last minute. Saskatchewan really needs a goal here just to calm the nerves, get this crowd into it, and just stop this run by the Roughnecks. As the aforementioned Shatler has it with 15 on the shot clock. Near side Courier. Down on the corner Church. Little Nations play. Inside cut with Lindner. And he gets knocked to the turf. Loose ball. Shatler's going to find it. Watched there by Reese Callies. And he's not going to get a shot off. Nice defensive pressure there by Harrison Matsuoka, the rookie.
Yeah, and Manning, too, to take that pass away from a streaking Lindner. That sort of forces that play to end up in the corner. So good things on the defensive side of the ball for Calgary so far, and on the O side with the 3-goal run.
Pace hounded by Jeff Cornwall. Into the corner, Hairwires. Around a pick from Dan Taylor. Good defense there by Bobby Kidd III. Now Dixon, late in the 30, Dixon drive. Good defense by Cornwall. Somehow Dixon gets through one-handed shot and then gets roughed up after the whistle. We need to get a penalty here on Cornwall. We are.
Never taking himself out of an opportunity to try to score a goal. Double team comes over, Dixon's bodied, one hand on the stick, still manages to get a shot towards the goal and then draws penalty. When you have the dynamic feet like Curtis Dixon does, super tough to defend one-on-one, and you're going to take penalties.
There'll be an illegal cross-check on Cornwall, and you know that's just trying to give Curtis Dixon that extra shot. Just rough him up as much as you can. Yes, it was after drop. You still want to make him feel it every time. And now the Roughnecks will go to the power play. 2 for 5 last week against Buffalo. And it'll be King, Taylor, Hairwires, Dixon, and Pace. Check that, that's Cook on the near side corner. King, outside shot, missed it. That's gonna go all the way back over. A quick possession, and it never went on target. So Saskatchewan will get possession. Josh Courier will start with it as they try to kill some time here. The 30-second shot clock will run. Courier. Lindner trying to go for the backdoor cut. Good defense there by Andrew Malone. Inside look to Matthews. Check that, Keenan. And now here comes Mitch Wild. Power crane like he's running a relay at the Olympics. And we'll give it off to Dan Taylor. Minute 20 remaining on the minor to Cornwall.
Good sticks again on the Roughnecks defense. That's how they turned that ball over. A pass was intended for a player in the middle of the floor and smothered, handcuffed, not able to pick it up as the Roughnecks are just all over their cutters. Even
King, one more to Pace, one more to that's Cook down there. Couldn't get a shot off. Great defense by four-time defenseman of the year, Kyle Rubin.
One of the best to ever do it, and that's why right there. That cage couldn't have been more open, but when Kyle Rubish is standing in front of you, not able to get a shot off was the rookie Cook.
Here's Shattler. 40 to go on the minor, 15 on the shot clock. Shattler one-on-one with Simpson. Now inside feed, oh, what a great opportunity. Lintner found himself open around the back of the net, but again, Del Bianco turns it aside, keeps it a 3-0 game. Last real good opportunity here in the man advantage for the Roughnecks. Kane, the late man. Taylor. Kane, backhand flip Taylor. Trying to go 5-hole and shoot. Makes a save, and again, just unaware of it between his legs. As the penalty to Cornwall will wind up. And we're back to 5-a-side. Calgary 0 for 1 with a man advantage. Palace far side. Late man Lindler, he bobbles it, loose ball. Ticers couldn't find it, Mullen does. And Del Bianco will quickly head man to Salam. I thought they were gonna call Calgary for a back in there, but said it was an unintentional deflection off a roughneck ball. Near side Haywires. Sorry, Hairwires. Hairwires again. Goes behind the net, and that one doesn't connect. And after the hot start by the Roughnecks, their offense kind of gone a little cold here, Brad.
Yeah, and aren't able to muster a good opportunity on that power play, so that's kind of a wasted 2 minutes, and they're giving them Rush some momentum here. They've killed off 2. Now let's kind of get off the schneid and get their first goal.
Matthews inside. Shattler scores! What a handle! What a finish! Shattler gets on the board. It's 3-1.
There it is. Momentum shifts as Shattler goes airborne across the crease, showing what he can do in the tight confines. The Rush snapped the run on their 4th shot. So you see a hard pick set, and Shattler rolls to it. That's how he sets his picks. He's going to give you a little bit of a body bump, a little bit of body check, but that's fair game right there for Jeff Shattler. And then he comes in alone on Del Bianco, 3-1.
Fantastic finish by Jeff Shattler. Give him 854 points in his career. That is most by any Indigenous player in National Lacrosse League history. Here's Courier driving underneath, turned back by the Roughnecks D. Courier around the top, trying to find an open man. He does. It's Ryan Keenan far side. Keenan inside, doesn't connect with Lintner. 13 on the shot clock. Loose ball picked up by Courier. And here comes Mitch Wild. And Wild to leave it there for Tyler Pace. He's picked up by Connor McClellan. Scored the first goal of his NLL career last weekend in Halifax. The first goal of the game for the Rush. Pace, inside feed Taylor, backhand, he put it wide, but an illegal screen call. And it'll be Saskatchewan's ball when we get back from break. Shattler has the Rush on the board. Rush Nation is in it. Come back from TSN. It's the game of the week. Rise up, Canada. The biggest part of the year is coming down tomorrow in Hamilton. Don't miss the 108th Grey Cup as the Blue Bombers and Ticats battle for Canadian football's biggest prize. Plus, Hamilton's born rock group, the Arkells, take the stage for the Twisted Tea halftime show. Catch the action beginning at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, only on TSN. Who you got? Cats or Bombers?
Bombers have been fantastic all year, but Ticats at home, I love that storyline. I got to take the Ticats at home. We had the pleasure of doing the first TSN game of the week last week, Teddy, in Hamilton, you and I and Ashley talking, and what a sports town that was. And so I'd really like to see them get paid off there. The Rush, obviously, the Rock moving down the highway from Toronto to Hamilton to play out of First Ontario Center, and a great showing last weekend for the crowd there.
Back to live action, Messenger. Play a little shift to O here. Lintner in the corner, takes a shot, bouncer saved there by Del Bianco. Loose ball picked up by Church, reset to 30. Lintner took a bit of a late hit, slow to get up. Matthews driving, flips to Shattler, scores! Back to back for Shatz, it's 3-2. Almost identical. A little high pick, Matthews down the side, And as a defender, you got to choose. And they took Matthews, flips it to Schattler. And let's see if Calgary might want to challenge here. It's pretty close, and just looking down below, it's Kurt Malosky unsure. I think he's just going to keep it in his pocket.
Looks pretty good on this replay angle by Jeff Schattler. Again, good finish, and you know, this is the swan song season for Jeff Schattler. He said that this will be his final season in the National Lacrosse League, which is special. There's not a lot of storylines we've seen over the years where we'll see a guy admit it's going to be his last year and then play it out. Most guys are going to make that decision after the season, but I like that the fans can appreciate Jeff Schattler this year, appreciate what he's doing on the floor. And look, he's got the first 2 rush goals of the game, the first 2 at home this season.
Schattler had 2 last game. He's got 2 tonight. And he's got his team back within 1. Here comes Saskatchewan the other way. Holden Garland. Another fantastic piece to this rush defense, and he is going to be a cornerstone of their defense for years to come.
Yeah, I call him the next one. You know, they've had Dilks and Rubish and Corbeil and Cornwall, and young Holden Garland will be an elite defender in this league if he's not already.
Delayed penalty coming up here. Looks like it's going to be Reese Callies as he gave Keenan a ride. And one of the best power plays over the past few years will head to the floor. The Saskatchewan Rush 5 for 8 against Halifax last weekend.
They're almost automatic with the vision that Mark Matthews has. You and I were at shoot around this morning. He basically draws up these plays for this team too. He's got the loudest mouth on this offensive zone. Sometimes he's even got a clipboard on the bench. Like, this guy knows what he wants to run. The other players buy in, and they all benefit from his vision.
Matthews, Church, Lintner, Keenan, Schattler. One-timer scores! That quick, that easy. 3-3 took 9 seconds.
Absolutely automatic. Players at the point get their touches. Church takes a couple steps into the middle, gets that cross-crease feed from Keenan, and easily into the back of the net. 3 by Calgary, 3 by Rush. We're tied in the first quarter.
And Mark Matthews adds to his assist total. Give him 3 already tonight. He's been on every goal. And Rush Nation is jumping. They're into this game after a bit of a slow start. And we had procedure on Simpson as he stepped across the line early. Another possession here for Saskatchewan with all the momentum going their way. Courier. Pass doesn't connect. Calgary going to transition. Simpson finds it up ahead. Courier on the break. Pump fake scores! Zach Courier in transition stops the run and restores the lead for the Roughnecks with 3:09 remaining. It's 4-3.
A fantastic answer. The Rush getting some momentum, they're tying it up, and then this is patented Calgary. This is what we saw a lot of last week. It didn't necessarily pay off for them, but today it does. Shane Simpson again, he started the transition last time on the pass over to Cook. This time he dishes to Courier. And he makes no mistake, his second of the year, 4-3.
We talked about it earlier. We'd like to see an NLL speed race. Every guy, or every team puts one guy in the mix, and we just go end-to-end once. Shane Simpson of Calgary Roughnecks is up there with one of the guys that would win that race. And he was able to find that loose ball, sprint away from his check, feed Courier up ahead, and helps the Rush regain a 1-goal lead. Here's Robert Church, gets a pick from Lintner. Oh, Lintner scores! Okay, so you want to bet the over. Probably a good idea here in this game. In quick succession, it's now 4-4.
The balls are falling, and as we said, the last goal was patented Roughnecks in transition. Well, that's patented pick and roll Saskatchewan Rush offense. Lintner rolls off of it, and right alone on the doorstep, goes airborne. What a nice addition and a bit of a rebirth here for Dan Lintner, a Whitby kid who grew up playing for Jeff McComb and Derek Keenan, the management and the coaching staff here for the Rush, a lot of teammates in Mark Matthews and the other Whitby boys for this Saskatchewan Rush offense, and I think he's rejuvenated and he's looked good these last 2 games.
Yeah, just playing with some familiar guys. He's a 2-time Minto winner, was a Minto MVP, and you know, when you can get guys that have that familiarity with each other for such a long time, it's just a natural fit. And you said it right, he's kind of found a new life here. And this Rush team spent the last year with the Buffalo Bandits. And a little confusion here between the referees. I thought they were going to say this was a deflection, but Corbeil's going to get it on the over and back, and the Rush try to capitalize quickly. There's Marshall Palace. Skips it over to Shaler, who's got a pair. He'll work with young Palace. Tries to flip it inside, but the sliding defense of Liam LeClaire thwarted that attack. Man, that's, a couple times we've seen that from the Rush, and there it is from the Roughnecks. Just a little pick up, slide down, flip back. Here's King, shot, goes wide. Loose ball picked up by Connor McCollum. He's gonna push the floor. Unofficially shot 6-5 in favor of Calgary. Courier couldn't find it, Salama does. He'll take it off the glass and run the floor. Far side up ahead. And here comes a full change for the Roughnecks. As Ethan Ticers gets off the floor. Air wires. Tanner Cook gets a pick there from Taylor, comes around the top. Backhand flip. Air wires, they couldn't handle it. He kind of looked to the net before he caught that one, Brad. Here comes Matt Beers the other way.
That was the right play. They knew exactly what they wanted to run. The lefty's getting a bit of a cycle. Haywires is wide open. He looked up to the sky because he knew he had that lane.
Ooh, Matthews just missed short side. And that'll go up and out of play. It'll be Calgary ball as it never went on target. And officials, I think, are just going to put some time back on the clock here. I don't think Miloski called a timeout. But Ecclestone is going to put some time back on the game clock. The Roughnecks will take on San Diego on the 17th as their home opener will be in the Saddledome next weekend. And the Saskatchewan Rush will be in Vancouver next weekend for the TSN Game of the Week against the Warriors.
The 2-0 Vancouver Warriors. 2 road victories. Their home opener, Rogers Arena, downtown Vancouver, Friday night. So quick turnaround for the Rush. Warriors played last night. They get a full week off.
So join us next week from Vancouver. Here come the Roughnecks. Tanner Cook out of the timeout. Or the so-called timeout. Backhand by King. Loose ball picked up there by Taylor. Tried to take a shot, but again, knocked down by the stick of Corbeil. And then King backtracking on Messenger. Messenger drives through. Messenger steps aside. Oh, what a shot, what a save. That would have been a dandy from Mike Messenger. But Christian Del Bianco having none of it. Final 30.
Just end-to-end, grabs his snorkel, swims over a couple defenders en route to the net. And if it wasn't for that pipe, could have been a Rush lead, but now shot clock turned off here for the Calgary Roughnecks in the final seconds of this first quarter.
6 on 5 here for Calgary. Hairwire is the late man. 8 on the shot clock. Calgary got to move here. Dixon. Nobody to pass to. And that's going to do it. They got to get their goalie out. There's 1.8 remaining. And Cornwall just flip it to center, and that'll do it for the opening quarter. The Roughnecks jumped out to an early lead, but the Saskatchewan Rush have clawed all the way back. It's 4-4. Come back. Second quarter action on your NLL Game of the Week from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, right here on TSN. Back inside SaskTel, getting you set for the second quarter. Let's say hello to Chantel Chan between the benches, talking about 2 of my favorite players, Marshall and Jesse King. Chantel?
Yeah, there's a lot of ties in the NLL, family ties that is, and the King brothers, Jesse and Marshall. I had a chance to speak with Jesse earlier this week, and he told me that it's a dream come true to play alongside his younger brother on the Calgary Roughnecks. And I had to ask him straight up. I said, you know, who's the better lacrosse player? And he said, you know what? Marshall is the naturally athletic one. He's more gifted in skill, but that means I have to work harder. Guys, who do you think is the better lacrosse player?
I just happen to see both of them kind of grow up in Victoria, BC. A couple good Victoria boys, and I think Jesse may be more natural than Marshall, but You always give the big brother a little edge, don't you, Brad?
Such different players too, you know, and that's helped Marshall grow up to be a little bit different. I think he's a little bit of a more pure finisher. Jesse King brings a little bit more to the table, off ball, cause turnovers, loose balls, just that overall sort of grit factor.
Marshall will have his time, but right now Jesse is the more prominent King brother. At the face-off dot, Courier and Messenger battling. It'll be picked up there by the Roughnecks' Ethan Ticehurst. Tries to run past Bobby Kidd the third.
One of 3 rookies in the rush lineup.
Jordy Jones-Smith with a nice pick-up and dash up the floor. Jones-Smith step-back shot.
First good transition opportunity by the Saskatchewan Rush. Well, I guess they had that Messenger opportunity late in that first quarter, but a good run there by Jordy Jones-Smith, who doesn't get picked up, runs the entire lap of the floor, takes an unscathed shot.
Curtis Dixon, inside feed, Dan Taylor finds it. Oh, there's a block shot by Matt Beers. And ball loose, picked up there by the captain, Chris Corbeil. Up ahead, Matt Beers bobbled it. Matt Zuoka pressures, loose ball going on the far side. 2 Rush players there will be picked up by the former Vancouver Warriors captain, who was signed in free agency by this Rush team, Corbeil. And there's a full change.
Beers brought his wife and kids to the game in Saskatchewan this weekend to get his first taste of being a home player here in Sask.
Courier with a low to high shot goes wide. Can Calgary run in transition? They've got numbers up the floor. Shane Simpson. Oh, they're not going to give him the advantage. They have to pull him out to the side as Ecclestone blows the whistle. Simpson will leave it there for Tanner Cook. First Rush goal here in the second half, or the second quarter. There'll be a lot of teddy bears thrown onto the floor by the crowd as Pace puts it wide.
Good looking crowd. I know there was some speculation earlier this week that there might have been a few seats up for grabs, and it filled it out nicely. You know, the weather was a beautiful day here, great night for some lacrosse. There's a lot of Rush action in Saskatoon here, billboards, buses. This team has a presence in this market, and the fans are here to support tonight.
Outside shot by Church, pinched by Del Bianco. And here comes Calgary the other way. Jesse King. Late man will be Hayden Dixon coming off the bench. King will get a pick from Taylor. Surveys, skips it near side Dixon. Bobbled it. Nice stick check there by Chris Corbeil. They got Beers up ahead. That'll be a short pass to Messenger now. He'll float it to Matt Beers. Hard off the bench is Matthews. Beers skips it to Shackler, a one-timer. And Del Bianco gets post to post. Heads up, big hit, Beers. Got a man up ahead. Matthews shoots. Oh, and he put it just wide.
That's why they brought in Matt Beers, and the crowd, if he wasn't a fan favorite going into this game already versus with what they know about Matt Beers, hits like that are going to endear him to Rush Nation.
Hit caused a turnover up ahead to Matthews, but he just unable to find Twine. Now Tanner Cook. Curtis Dixon threw a screen, put it just wide. Loose ball, Hayden Dixon. And couldn't find room, and he's not going to get a reset. And that ball will be turned over on a shot clock violation.
Calgary Roughnecks kind of livid why that wasn't a reset. Dixon thought all the Calgary offensive players did. Otherwise, that ball would have been in the corner, and they would have been heading off to the bench to try to get rid of any transition opportunity for Saskatchewan. So some confusion there.
4-4 is your score. 3.5 gone here in the second quarter. Robert Church sidesteps his check and scored. What a laser! There's your toss, your teddy bear moment. Happy holidays. Just don't throw your broadcast partner, Brad Challoner. Can't pick me up, I'm too thick.
Robert Church, though, we talked about him in the pregame show, just making goal scoring look kind of pedestrian. And just a wicked outside snipe from Robert Church, who's done that over 220 times in his National Lacrosse League career.
And just a smooth release as they come. No real hit, can keep it going on the run. And just fires it right over the far shoulder of Christian Del Bianco. And for Robert Church, that's his 5th of the year. He had 17 last year. Give him 118 in his career. And he's just going to have a long and storied one as we'll take another look at the Church goal.
This is the first Rush lead of the night. Calgary opened it 3-0. Saskatchewan scraps back, ties it at 3. They swap goals in the first lead on this brilliant outside shot from Robert Church. High top shelf.
And I think more importantly was the sidestep move that allowed him to get away from Zach Currier to free up his hands. There wasn't much of a pick there. He just kind of stuck his left foot in the ground, cut back towards the middle of the floor, and fired it top corner. As a bunch of fans got early access to the floor.
Yeah, they cleaned up the teddy bears pretty quick. Well done, Rush Nation. Lots of volunteers out there helping out. This will give the teams a chance to breathe. Good pace to this lacrosse game. You know, there was no rush, no panic in the rush, is what I'm trying to say, when they were down 3-0. This Rush team never really looks like they're in trouble. I think a more fast-paced, sort of scrambly game will favor the Calgary Roughnecks in the long run, but it's been back and forth, momentum changes, exactly what you want out of Battle of the Prairies. We got lots of lacrosse left to go tonight.
As you mentioned, first lead for the Rush, who were down early in this contest, but they slowly got their feet underneath them, got the crowd back into it, got their legs underneath them. And Robert Church has 3 points tonight. He had 5 points last game. And keep an eye on number 17 throughout this year. As you mentioned, there's just been a lot of hype around, you know, Mark Matthews and Church in this offense. They've also had Ben McIntosh in the offense the last few years. But now he becomes the true #1 threat on that right-hand shooter side, and expect big things from Robert Church.
More touches, one of the best power play finishers in the game, like we saw earlier tonight. This face-off going to be between Messenger and Reese Callies. Messenger is going to be his first season as a real full-time face-off guy in the absence of Jeremy Thompson, who they lost to the expansion Panther City Lacrosse Club. Messenger knows how to battle, and we talk about Currier being so valuable, being that do-it-all guy for the Calgary Roughnecks. Messenger's kind of the same way for Saskatchewan, but I think a little bit more durable at that face-off dot, especially when you got defensive players bearing down at you, chopping at you, hitting you. I think Messenger can handle being a full-time face-off man.
8-second call on Calgary. Possession turns over to the Rush. Here's a wait for a change. Give it off to Currier. Josh Currier, far side, comes around the top, plants his feet, gives near side Palace. Into the corner, Ryan Keenan. Thought about over top of the screen, he does! Turned aside by the left arm of Del Bianco. Up ahead, Shane Sips, nice job there by Ryan Keenan to get back and knock that pass down. Coaches love seeing forwards backtrack and cause turnovers, and that's a job there by Ryan Keenan, former first overall pick.
You can't just go straight to the bench when you're running with the Calgary Roughnecks. They move the ball up the floor so well, so effectively, and if you know you don't have a clear lane, you got to stay with the play. And Keenan with a great backtrack.
Church again on the run this time. Del Bianco gets the better of him. Zach Currier will leave it there for Jesse King. Late man on the floor is Hayden Dixon. King, far side, watched there by Ryan Dilks. Near side, Curtis Dixon, one-on-one with Messenger. Skips it over, King, shot, put it wide, loose ball. Grabbed there by Hayden Dixon late in the 30. To King, well, they're gonna give him a reset. Inside, Taylor, put it wide. Fresh 30 here for Calgary.
Their first offensive zone reset. Let's see how they regroup here.
Jesse King gets a pick there from Taylor, skips it. Curtis Dixon, twister, took a deflection. 10 on the shot clock. Inside feed, pace, far side, short side, what a goal. Second of the season, what a feed from Jesse King, but an even nicer finish from Tyler Pace.
How he gets those hands off in tight is pretty phenomenal. Scrambly defensive shift. Bobby Kidd has no stick. Messenger leaked off early and was halfway up the floor. Bit of a 4-on-3 set after the bodies were changing. And Pace just watches his feet. Great hands in tight on shoot. We get a final look at it. And Pace has his second of the night in his first game of the season. We're tied again.
King and Dixon on the assists. As the Rush and Roughnecks are just going goal for goal here from Sasktel. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching. On TSN. Palace, near side Matthews. Shot right into the logo. And Del Bianco gonna throw one deep. Curtis Dixon off the bench. Dixon running on the run, shoots it, put it off the helmet of Adam Shute. And we got a whistle.
Through the crease, first to touch the ball for Dixon.
We will come back and reset the scene. 5-5 is your score, an instant classic in the Battle of the Prairies. You're watching the NLL on TSN. Two Canadian teams going head-to-head here on TSN, and that means it's an Alterna Cup matchup. Brad, break it down.
Yeah, the Alterna Cup, this is a little head-to-head action between Canadian teams in the National Lacrosse League. Just put something on the line, kind of soccer-esque, because it's kind of like a championship within a championship. But the Alterna Cup trophy is going to be handed out to the Canadian team with the best win percentage in head-to-head matchups against the other Canadian team. So this is an Alterna Cup matchup tonight. Halifax has already played two of them. They're 2-0, beating the Toronto Rock and the Saskatchewan Rush in the last 2 weeks.
5-5 is your score, 9.5 to play here in the first half between the Rush and Roughnecks. Shatler, holding penalty coming up here to Calgary. Outside shot goes wide, loose ball. Picked up there by Matthews. Adam Shute to the net. So 6-on-5 here, Saskatchewan. Keenan, far side shot missed. And they gave him an inadvertent reset. Ecclestone was counting it down. And it's going to be a holding call, and I believe it's going to go to Harrison Matsuoka. And so the Rush, who are 1 for 1 so far tonight, will get a second opportunity to try to restore a one-goal lead as these two teams continue to trade opportunities.
You mentioned Matsuoka, a young kid who grew up in Calgary, knows all about this Prairie rivalry, and his first chance to play in it. He kind of steals the glove of Dan Lintner there.
Yeah, they're actually going to call it holding stick. Look at the sign behind Christian Del Bianco. It's a Del Taco Del Bianco sign with Rush Hulk there. It's a nice touch. Rush Hulk, standard practice here inside Sasktel for Saskatchewan home game. Here's Church. Keenan shot, turned aside. I think that was blocked inside by Salama. Never made it on target, so 15 on the shot clock. Diagonal feed to Linder. Inside Keenan, one-timer, and he put it wide. Salama finds a loose ball in his own crease. Gonna have to run to space, being hounded by Shatler. Now got to get it over the timeline, and Salama will not. And here come the Rush power play. Church. Late change, Matthews and Keenan come on the floor. Matthews will set it up. Church and Keenan up top. Lintner and Shatler, double high seal. Down the middle, comes Matthews, scores! Out of a cannon from 42, another power play goal at 6-5 Rush.
You want him to shoot more, lacrosse fans and Rush coaches? There you go. Mark Matthews unleashes one on the power play. Look at that. Steps in, picture perfect. Twist to the hips as he steps in and just rifles it. Not a goaltender on earth wants to get in the way of that. The Rush are back on top 6-5. 2 for 2 on the power play.
2 power play goals, 2 shots. Pretty efficient power play work. As we talked about off the start, this is just one of the most efficient power plays in the National Lacrosse League. And this group of guys on the power play have been together for so many years, it's just second nature. Sure, you've added in Lintner, but we talked about his chemistry with some of these guys already. And they just haven't missed a beat, and it's just their second game of the season.
And Lintner's role in this power play is going to be very similar to what Ben McIntosh's was. Just have your stick open on the doorstep, and Mark will find you for those quick stick opportunities. Lintner can do that.
Backhand shot by Taylor goes wide. 5 on the shot clock. Rubish will pick it up. Skip it over to his captain, Chris Corbeil. And Saskatchewan now trying to find their first 2-goal lead of the night. We've got 7:45 remaining in the half. Unofficially, shots 19-9 in favor of Saskatchewan. Near side, Keenan. Thought about over the top. Now we'll shoot a glove save by Delbianco. Reset the 30. Marshall Powell gets a hug from Mark Matthews. Into the corner. Church inside. Keenan! Oh, and what a save by Christian Delbianco again.
That's a tough stop to make. Guys dancing right in front of you. A couple fakes, and Christian says nope.
Tanner Cook far side. Watch there by Dilks. Near side, Curtis Dixon. Around a double screen, takes a hit there from Messenger. Knocked to the ground, delayed penalty coming up to Mike Messenger. Diagonal feed to Pace, doesn't connect. And now Calgary will head back to the power play.
Second time Curtis Dixon's drawn a penalty in this game again. He's so tough to check. He's slippery. He's got great feet. The Messenger gets the stick up high. He's going to look. Dixon trying to run away, and yeah, just gets his sword up in the chin. And Calgary power play that only mustered, I think, one shot on goal in their first power play opportunity. 0 for 1 will try to tie the game.
Dan Taylor will set it up here for the Roughnecks out there with Jesse King, Curtis Dixon, Tyler Pace, and Tanner Cook. Dilks, Corbeil, Rubish, and Garland, your four-man box for Saskatchewan. That pass goes awry. Garland finds it. And he'll skip it over to Rubish, who took a shot from a sniper somewhere up here in the catwalk. But he's able to find that loose ball and get it across the timeline.
Lucky for Kyle Rubish, no Roughnecks around him to head towards the net. Turf Monster got a good piece of him.
So Shatler will just create some havoc and run to space. Throws it far side. Lintner, here comes a double team. And he'll just flip it to the corner as the shot clock was winding down. And Saskatchewan gets their defensive box out as quickly as possible. The Roughnecks trying to find themselves power play goal here. Pace looks like he'll set things up. Go strong right. Pace to King. He'll shoot, trying to go far side. Shoulder save by Adam Shoot. Loose ball, Beers. He's going to run with Corbeil. Slow numbers for Saskatchewan. Corbeil urging Beers forward. He'll shoot. Oh, he put it off the crossbar. And it goes all the way back to Holden Garland on his own side of center. Dispossessed by a nice stick check from Mitch Wild. And now Pace has it.
Calgary needed that ball back. Good job to force Garland to chop it up. Yeah, you've got extra numbers on the floor, but Garland runs into double, triple, and now Calgary will set up on their power play again for 25 seconds.
King to Pace. Down low, Dan Taylor. Pace can't handle it. And this Roughnecks power play just out of sorts here so far tonight. King, one-timer. Shoot, scores. Great handle by Hayden Dixon. The patience not to shoot that on first advance. Got Adam Shoot on his knees, and he put it over his shoulder. We're tied at 6.
Yeah, Kurt Milowski talked about this, about Hayden Dixon, why they drafted him, what they liked about him as a 20-year-old, or 19-year-old rather, coming out of the BC Junior League a couple years ago, was just exactly what you just said, Teddy. Was that patience. You know, he doesn't freak out down on the doorstep. It's not always that first shot. He's going to make the goalie bite. He's going to take that extra shot, make the goalie make the first move. 6-6. Dixon's 2 on the night, and I know he's a big part of this team's plans for the future, and they're happy with what young Hayden brings.
So Hayden Dixon from Jesse King and Tyler Pace is the goal on the power play, and the Rush almost retake the lead that quickly. But here comes Calgary in transition. Quick little bobble there by Simpson. Now Jesse King, watched there by Kyle Root. All-time leader in forced turnovers in the NLL. I think he has 5 of the top 10 numbers in that category. And the Rush have 5 of the top 7. Here's Corbeil on a breakaway. Corbeil shoots, kicked aside by by Christian Delbianco.
Yeah, if you look at the record for caused turnovers in a season, Rubish has, like what you said, 4 of them. Ryan Dilks has 1 of them. Matt Beers, who's now a member of this team, has 1 of them as well. This team can strip the ball out of any offensive player. Their sticks are so good.
Irish Nation, here we go.
Here comes Bobby Kidd III. He almost got hit by the sniper. Into the corner. Courier around the church pit, plants his feet, tucks it underneath. Good defense there as Courier on Courier. Brothers matching up. And they did admit there is definitely a sibling rivalry. Josh driving, thinking about the dunk shot, and Christian Del Bianco was there to make the save, and that will take us to a timeout. Courier brothers not feeling the holiday spirit currently. It's 6-6. Calgary and Saskatchewan come back for the final 3:38. 6-6 is your score here in the second quarter between the Rush and the Roughnecks. Stay tuned for the Guaranteed Rate halftime report, where Chantel, Brad, and I will recap the first half, go around the NLL, and we'll get to know the Saskatchewan Rush a little bit better. That's all coming up in the Guaranteed Rate halftime report. But first, we got to get through this next 3 minutes and 40-odd seconds, Brad. And we kind of expected a tight, close battle between the teams. Maybe a little more high-scoring than we thought. But when you have offenses that can put them in the back of the net like these two, it's no surprise.
Yeah, in bunches too. So Calgary opens up the game with a 3-goal run, 3-0. Saskatchewan battles back, ties it at 3, and then no one scored more than a goal in a row from here on out, and that's exactly what you expect. This is just a heavyweight matchup, blow for blow.
Pace driving and diving save there by Adam Shute. Up ahead, Dilks, who's got his very own chip. Dilks Pickle Chips. Thanks to the fine folks here at Pure.
Getting into those again at halftime.
Yeah, you're a big fan of those. Delayed penalty coming up here. Again, I think it's going to be Curtis Manning. As Adam Shute sprints off. Diagonal feed, Lindner tries to swim on Matsuoka. Up top, Church. Over the top, deflected by Leclerc. And the doctor, Curtis Manning, will head off. And the Rush will try to go 3 for 3 on the power play. Mark Matthews will quarterback as usual. He's got 10 points in 2 games already. 6 assists last week. Tonight he's got 1 goal, 3 assists. And just continues to put up the points. And so he'll set things up with Church, Keenan, Schattler, and Lindner.
Manning a little bit perplexed after seeing that replay. I'm a little bit perplexed too. A bit of a soft one, we'll say. His cutter were coming through the middle. Just got to stick up on him a little bit.
Church, Matthews, diagonal, Lindner, one-timer, Del Bianco post to post. Quick long bump feed up ahead, Curtis Dixon. Oh, he couldn't quite handle the feed, but he gets one bounce off the glass. Watched there by Beers and Rubish. That's a daunting task for anybody.
Beers is just going to go right at him. And Rubish is waiting. If he does get around him and beat him one-on-one, Rubish is waiting there.
Dixon, 8 on the shot clock. Inside feed, King. Can he get his hands free? He does! On a left toe save there by Adam Shute.
Nice work in tight by King. He's looking for the holding call. If that's what Manning got one for, he's looking for one on Corbeil there. He was all over him as he was cutting through the middle.
Church, far side, watched there by Zach Courier. Gives it up top to Matthews. They play 1-2. Little drag, down low Schattler. Trying to open up Church, and the pass doesn't connect. That was knocked down by Reese Callies. 5 on the shot clock. Lindner gonna try and find it. Good job there by Courier just to keep this loose. And the Calgary Roughnecks have done an excellent job here on this short man to just not allow passes to go diagonal.
And just time management. Curtis Dixon sucked a lot of the time off the clock in that offensive zone, and then Courier there smothering it. And, you know, you want to be effective against this Rush power play. Don't let them have the ball.
Minute 20 remaining here in the quarter. Pace. 10 on the shot clock. Dan Taylor far side, watched by Messenger. Taylor will be able to get a shot off. Tries. Skirts the corner, Pace through a screen. Oh, he just missed far side. It'll be a shot clock violation on Calgary as the time on the penalty continues to tick down. Last minute to play in the half.
Yeah, they'll take the violation. That just means no ball in the hands of the Rush for 30 seconds.
Manning back in, and we're 5 on 5. Schattler inside to Lindner, couldn't handle it. Church, shot, save Del Bianco. They're gonna try to run here with numbers. Simpson. And Dixon wisely just saying, hey, let's hold up. And we'll get it to Jesse King. So Calgary gonna have to take a shot here. And Saskatchewan might look to try to have the final possession. Diagonal feed to Pace, doesn't connect. Loose ball picked up by Corbeil. And Jeff McComb will call timeout for the bench with 11.9. Let's see what the Rush can draw up here. They'll bring Adam Shute to the bench and go 6-on-5.
Yeah, set up a 6-on-5 play. Look for a bit of a backbreaker and a momentum lifter. You never want to give up a goal in the last, 10, 15 seconds of a quarter. Just sort of sucks the life out of your team and gives momentum to the Saskatchewan Rush. So we'll see what Jimmy Quinlan, Mark Matthews, and can draw up.
Got a chance to catch up with my old teammate Jimmy Quinlan before the game, and I said, how's it being back on the bench as he took some time off the last couple of years? I said, just like riding a bike, Teddy, just like riding a bike. And I said, yeah, but you're coaching the O now. He says, I just try to stay out of their way. And that's usually what a good O coach will say. And, Jeff McComb said it when he was coaching this O the past few years. Dan Ladouceur down in Georgia the last few years always said the same thing. I just kind of give them instruction. I don't try to do too much. I let them do what they do best. And this Rush is one of the most potent offenses in the NLL.
Yeah, especially when you have Mark Matthews in the mind that he has. Like watching him this morning, I think this guy's probably a coach in the league when he hangs it up one day, hopefully 10 years down the road. But just such a great mind for the game. And similar to, as you mentioned, like Lyle Thompson and the Georgia Swarm and Shane Jackson offense, they're the ones coming up with some of these schemes. And a defensive specialist, and has actually played a little bit of O as well, but Jimmy Quinlan just gives out some pointers. What's the D doing?
Church, Keenan, pass to Courier, couldn't connect, and that'll take us to the half. Good pressure by Calgary. Saskatchewan couldn't capitalize, and that's the half. The Roughnecks start hot. They're up, are 6-6 with the Rush. We'll break it all down. Guaranteed rate halftime for you watching the NLL Game of the Week right here from Saskatoon on TSN. Back inside SaskTel, getting you set for the second half between Rush and Roughnecks here on TSN. And we'd be remiss to say this. The last time the Roughnecks played in Buffalo, they were outscored 9-2 in that second half. And head coach Kurt Malosky, I asked him, I said, you guys hit a few posts, you maybe kind of got a little bit unlucky, but he didn't see it that way.
No, and it's tough. So it was a 7-0 run they allowed Buffalo Bandits last weekend in the third quarter. So this is kind of the dangerous quarter, but I don't think it's going to happen twice for the Calgary Roughnecks. Yeah, but Kurt Malosky's philosophy is like it was tough to catch a break in that quarter. They didn't call a timeout. They didn't do a goaltender change. There was no injuries. They couldn't really catch a break, and we'll see how they adjust for half number 2 here against the Saskatchewan Rush in a game that's been right back and forth. No team has gone on more than a 1-goal run since the 3-goal ones early in quarter number 1. It's been about as back and forth as you can go. So we'll see what kind of adjustments have been made and what these two squads will look like here in half number 2.
Shute and Del Bianco will remain between the pipes. There'll be Messenger and Zach Courier at the face-off dot.
Courier 5 for 9 in the first half. Messenger was 6 for 13. Reese Cowleys and Bobby Kidd III helping out for Calgary and Saskatchewan respectively.
So here we go, second half about to get underway, and pretty much a brand new start as we start the second half. All tied up. Here's Courier right off the drop, picks and pops to himself.
A clean one, yeah. There hasn't been a lot of clean wins for Courier. Usually he's drawn them out and leaving these 50-50 balls for his defense to come scoop up, but that one's pretty clean pickpocket.
Here's Tyler Pace. Has himself a pair of goals. Outside shot from Hairwire just missed. That one's going to be over and back, and Messenger will run onto it. So he'll start with it. He'll just leave it free and get the whistle. And allow Ryan Keane to pick it up, and he'll go for a change. Matthews runs some screens in front, and Littner couldn't find that loose ball. Eventually picked up by Calgary, and they're going to run. They got numbers the other way. 3-on-2. Leclerc up ahead. Simpson off the bench is King. Leclerc scores off the the transition, and a great extra feed by Jesse King. I thought for sure Kinger was going to shoot that one, and maybe Shoot did as well. The extra pass to Leclerc, and Calgary, again, takes a 1-goal lead.
Calgary on the run, so dominant when they're forcing transition. 3 bodies up the floor, and you're right, Teddy, this is a nice look from King. That Shoot's probably thinking shot. Most people are thinking shot here from King, but one dish over to Leclerc. Again, a defender, so you're thinking the offensive guy, King, spitting out of the gate is the guy that's going to take that shot, but all these defenders in the National Lacrosse League have a little bit of pop, a little bit of finish to them, and Leclerc gives the Roughnecks the lead.
Jesse King and Shane Simpson with the assists, and Shane Simpson's got 3 assists already tonight, and they've all come in transition.
Yeah, he's the one that's going. One of the fastest pair of legs in the National Lacrosse League.
Up ahead off the break, and a nice save there by Del Bianco as he turns away the shot from Holden Garland. As again, Saskatchewan just tried to rebound right away. Now here's Dixon. Curtis Dixon, that is. Dan Taylor, late man off the bench. Into the corner, Tanner Cook. Inside feed. Pace was all alone, but couldn't get a handle. Corbeil. Watched there by Taylor. Will bounce it ahead to Matt Beers.
Good first half for Matt Beers. His first half at home as a member of the Saskatchewan Rush. A couple turnovers, a couple loose balls, a bone-crushing hit.
Inside feed to Schattler, doesn't connect. Long bomb pass in transition. Simpson on the breakaway. Pump fake, shoots, and Shoot makes the save. Way to go, Adam Shoot, staying with him all the way across to deny Shane Simpson.
Put a Fitbit on Simpson. Let's see how many steps he's taken tonight. That guy's flying up and down the floor. Shoot robs him this time. No one there to pass to. Just too fast on that one.
Schattler couldn't handle the pass. Matthews battling. 10 on the shot clock. He'll run close to center, and he'll just float one to the corner as the shot clock winds down. And so Calgary will have possession.
I love
and a
watching,
1-goal lead.
I love watching the way Matthews directs traffic with his head when he has control of the ball. He literally gives guys little winks and head nods of telling them where to go or what to do.
Here's Calgary, the diagonal feed to Hairwire. Finds it off the bounce on the glass. Double team in the corner, and then he's get pushed on the crease. Nice job there by Rubish to cause that turnover, and he has a couple extra words, as does Matt Beers. Jordy Jones gets in there as well.
Hayward's going to bring a little bit of that edge into the offensive zone, but just runs into nothing but trouble against Rubish in that corner.
There's Marshall Powless far side. Comes around a Schattler pick. Will work inside, can't find him open. Now will come near side. Church bobbled it. Watched there by Ethan Ticehurst. Gets a pick from Linder. Skips to Schattler. Late in the shot clock, and he put it just wide. And Church will fire a late one high and wide. Calgary have possession with Eli Salama. Has King and Cook. Salama. And he will just hold up. Give it off to Curtis Dixon. Tyler Pace. In the near corner, that's picked off. Nice job there by the Rush defense. That's Ryan Dilks. Dilks gonna run delayed penalty coming up to Calgary as Simpson left the bench early. So Adam Shoot will head to the bench. 6 on 5 here for the Rush. And that's why Ryan Dilks is a former NLL Defender of the Year and one of the best shutdown defenders in the game. Just pick that pass off and turn the other way.
Yeah, great anticipation, great one-on-one defender. One of the best.
Say hi to Papa Dilks, who's watching back home. One of the biggest supporters of his grandson. And so on the shot goal, they're going to call a penalty shot here, Brad.
Yeah, so when you have too many men on the floor and you obstruct a breakaway, that results in a penalty shot. So that's what we're seeing. Who does...
So here we might have a look at this. Is Dilks is going to run the floor, and Shane Simpson is the guy that comes off the bench right here, and he deters Dilks from going to the net. Now, may not have been a great scoring opportunity for Ryan Dilks, but that is the letter of the law. If that guy comes early and stops an opportunity, we saw this in the Halifax game against Saskatchewan last weekend, where Clark Peterson had 2 penalty shots for the exact same thing, scored one, missed one, and now Mark Matthews, a chance to tie the game with a penalty shot. 4 minutes into the third quarter. Matthews against Del Bianco. Wide turn. Matthews shoots, scores! Picked his spot, hit his spot, and Matthews has another 7-7.
Didn't need to get super fancy here. Just takes the wide lap in against Christian Del Bianco. Couple fakes, then far side high snipe, and Matthews has his second of the night to go along with a boatload of assists.
And for all you young kids out there, that is a perfect lesson. Keep your stick high on the shoulder. You don't got to throw a ton of fakes. Just pick it and hit it. And Mark Matthews did just that. And ties this game back up at 7. Matthews was the first overall pick in 2012. Was the Rookie of the Year, all-rookie team, 4-time All-Pro, and the 2018 MVP. And it'll be an 8-second violation here on Calgary.
His 5th point of the night to go along with 6 in opening weekend against Buffalo. So Mark Matthews 20 months away from the National Lacrosse League, but not slowing down the production.
You talked about the number of first-round picks that Calgary has for the lineup. The number of first-round picks this Rush team has had over the years and in their lineup is just as staggering. Here's one, Ryan Keenan. Courier. Shot, had Del Bianco going the other way, but the Roughnecks goalie got his left hand on it. Reset to 30. Courier to Church. He'll find Matthews far side. Time and Rubo, he went short side. Junction off the back of Del Bianco and stayed out. Quickly up the floor, Simpson. Fakes it, holds on to it. Skips it to King. King will wait for fresh bodies to come on the floor. Late man is Dan Taylor. 13 on the shot clock. King comes around the top. Not a lot of movement here for the Roughnecks on offense. Now Dixon is open. Dixon behind the back, one-hander. And Adam Shute again there to make the save.
Dixon being mugged a little bit. I think you might have been looking for a call, but what a way to get the shot off. One hand around the back.
Messenger in transition, airmailed one. Now the Roughnecks have numbers again. 2-on-1. Manning shoots, bouncer, scores in transition. Paging Dr. Curtis Manning. It's 8-7 Calgary.
The transitional floodgates are just pouring for the Calgary Roughnecks. They're getting a little stagnant and snake bitten on the O side. It's their defensive players that are bailing them out tonight. And Jeff McComb and the Saskatchewan Rush offensive team needs to figure out how to turn the tap off. Change, be a little bit more responsible, obstruct those runners, but these guys are so fast.
Manning from Del Bianco at 5:26. And Curtis Manning played 9 games, didn't have a single goal. And now he's already surpassed his totals.
He's another one of those plus 30-year-olds that I think a 20-month break off has helped. I think Curtis Manning is in great shape, rejuvenated, got a letter on his jersey, part of this leadership group. One of the longest-serving Roughnecks now.
Delayed penalty coming up. The Saskatchewan is Hayden Dixon fires hard and heavy from the outside. And when we come back, the Roughnecks with a 1-goal lead will be on the power play as Curtis Manning scores in transition. Illegal cross-check is the penalty coming up here to the Saskatchewan Rush. Actually, I think it's probably a holding call. But nonetheless, let's have a quick look at Jeff Shattler and the weapon that he's got on him tonight. And it is a little colorful, and it is for a very, very good reason. His nephew, Nathan Noel, has recently been diagnosed with autism. So Jeff thought he would do something to help his nephew, Nathan. He dyed this stick, colors of autism, and he's going to donate the stick and raffle it off at the end of the year for a very good cause. So Jeff Shattler not only doing things for the Indigenous community, but also doing things for his family as well. So a great little thing there for Jeff Shattler, who continues to be just one of the great sportsmen in our league. Pass picked off nicely by Holden Garland. He's going to run the floor. Watch out numbers. Garland shoots, save Del Bianco in transition. That is a big save by the Roughnecks netminder to keep it a one-goal game and not allow a shorthanded marker.
No, Rush looking for a little transition for themselves, and Del Bianco, a beautiful stick save to get it right back up the floor onto the power play. And this power play unit that's 1 for 2 so far, looking to increase their lead here.
And that pass from Pace to Taylor doesn't connect. And again, this Roughnecks offense on the power play, very talented, but just kind of struggling to find some chemistry. Quickly up ahead, Dixon, oh, he couldn't find it. Loose ball, shooting in a battle, it'll be Ryan Dilks, and that might be an unforced error.
Yeah,
Coach Kurt Malosky would like to have back.
He's not liking that. I wouldn't imagine. Curtis Dixon all alone up the floor, but you're passing that through multiple sticks and then throwing your power play away.
Matthews trying to find a cutting Shatler, and he was just isolated and shut down. Excellent work by Harrison Matsuoka. Been real impressed with Harrison Matsuoka. They got a couple tough penalties called against him, but the rookies look real good.
Yeah, you know what? And there was speculation out of the preseason and training camp that he might not have been an active roster guy. He might have had to earn his keep, but he really impressed the coaching staff, and he's been a full-timer here for his first 2 games.
Dixon on the run, put it off the left shoulder of Adam Shute, reset the 30, 13 on the minor.
And that's it. So 1 for 3 now as we're going to get the Rush players stepping back out on the floor.
So nice job by the Rush penalty killer to keep this a one-goal game. Back onto the floor comes McClellan. And another save by Adam Shute.
That might have been Schute's best. That was a wide-open yawning cage for him to get over and make that stop. That was spectacular save by Adam Shute. 3 shots on that power play by the Calgary Roughnecks.
There's Ryan Keenan around the top. Keenan shoots, and Del Bianco closed the wickets, and Eli Salama going to pick it and run. Numbers, and Salama will slow it up. 6.5 to go here in the third quarter. Shots 36-21 Saskatchewan, but they currently trail by a goal. Tanner Cook dumped to the ground by Dilks and Corbeil.
Just mugged as he crosses over center by 2 of the all-time great Rush defenders, Dilks and Corbeil. You're not getting out of that double alive.
There's Robert Church. Inside Vito doesn't quite connect with Courier. Loose ball picked up by Manning. And he's going to run past his check. He's got Simpson to his left. He'll go there now. And Simpson will leave it for Pace and stay shift to O. Pace will run off the pick, spins inside. Oh, and Adam Shute is down, and Holden Garland's going right at Hayden Dixon. And now Messenger comes over.
I didn't see how Shute was taken so far out of place.
And now some punches are being thrown. And Simpson and Rubish have a hold of each other. I was watching Tyler Pace spinning on beers and looked, and Adam Shute was flat on the ground. We'll see what the call is here. Is Dixon, here's a good angle of it. And Dixon actually kind of gets pushed into the crease by Garland. And the Roughnecks aren't too happy, saying that Hayden Dixon was pushed, and then afterwards, a couple jabs thrown, but it looks like the Rush are going to head to the power play here as Dixon is in the box.
Number 97, 2 minutes checking in the crease.
And they'll call 2-minute checking in the crease.
So the Rush kill a penalty, now they'll head back on the power play. As momentum in this game kind of been halted a little bit by these penalties. We'll see if the Rush can get one here, start turning the corner and tie this lacrosse game down by 1.
All right, so Matthews will set it up. Church, Lintner, Keenan, and Shatler. Matthews, Keenan, pump fake, save Del Bianco again. And he's going to try to find an outlet. He's going to float one to Mitch Wild at center. And Wild able to run away from Shatler and find Jesse King.
30th save for Christian Del Bianco as Jesse King looks like he...
That's never good when you see Jesse King on a little limp, but he looks like he's going to be able to stay in play. Dixon driving it, absolutely dispossessed, and a penalty call coming. This one's going to be on Messenger for the hold. as Dixon is slow to get up.
Dixon draws another one. They're obviously going hard on Curtis Dixon. He's their best right-handed player. He's their go-to guy, their captain. But they've been all over him tonight. Every time he tries to get to the middle, he's being smothered. If anything, he's drawing penalties. Calgary just needs to get better on the power play and capitalize on these opportunities that they're being given.
So we'll be 4-on-4 for a minute 27. As Dixon shakes the cobwebs.
Let's watch that movie 10 because not much makes sense right.
Dixon's not going to complain. He's that kind of guy that's just going to beat you on the scoreboard. You take a penalty against Curtis Dixon, and more times than not, he's just going to stuff in the back of the net and make you pay that way.
Jesse King will work with Dan Taylor on the near side. Skip it to Tyler Pace, who will work a two-man game with Curtis Dixon. Pace faked it, keeps it, trying to get away from Holden Garland. He does. Up top, Dixon. Time and room. And he gets a late shot by Corbeil, no call. Running the other way, Holden Garland has Corbeil with him. Corbeil shoots, save Del Bianco. Loose ball picked up by Shane Simpson.
Too much time for Dixon. He had a wide open shot, but decided wanted to get a better look, better angle, and then was dispossessed.
You don't see him pass those open looks up.
No.
45 remaining on 4-on-4 lacrosse. Outside shot by Simpson, handled easily there by Adam Shute. Jeff Cornwall will run. He's got King stuck on defense. They might be able to get off and change here, but and they will. Cornwall and King. Now Matthews turns the corner. Step back shot saved by Del Bianco again, and he's really settling into a nice rhythm, Brad.
Yeah, and he gets that pass up so quickly. Luckily for the rush sake, there was no runners there that time for Del Bianco, but so quick to make the stop, make the pass in one swift motion.
Late man is Jesse King, as they'll go three lefties here. Maybe try to isolate Pace on the far side. Here's Tanner Cook. Around the top, turns the corner. Cook will shoot, he put off the post. And King has it, and it'll be a power play here for Calgary for 30 seconds. Nice play there by King to track down that loose ball. He'll set up the power play. Pace, King, backhand flip Taylor, threw a screen and it hit a body and went wide. Taylor again, up top King. Diagonal feed, one-timer scores, what a finish on the one-time feed on the power play. And that's another two-goal lead for the Roughnecks. First time they've led by 2 since early in this game. And a power play marker. 3 shots, Calgary 2 for 4.
Hayden Dixon's hat trick, and this is just a beautiful stroke on this shot. Low to low, quick stick, like to get that, make that catch, and then release that quickly. Sub shot is pretty miraculous mitts there by Hayden Dixon. 9-7. Biggest lead in a while for any team, even though it's a measly 2 goals.
3:21 remaining here in the third quarter as these two longtime rivals continue to do battle in what is an absolute classic as always. And starting to get a little physical. Andrew Mullen battling through. Courier picks it up. Delayed penalty coming to the Rock. So Del Bianco to the bench. Roughnecks will go 6-on-5 here. And Jesse King just imploring his teammates to get on the floor. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Dixon, King, shot, oh, went in, but they'll say yes, they'll count it. Jeff McComb is definitely going to want to have a look at this, might throw the flag. If it's a goal, there's no penalty. If it's not a goal, they're man down. But we'll have to wait and see for a replay here. But Jesse King seems to have made it a 3-goal game.
He's got the flag in his hand, and a replay is going to have to show the shot clock so we know what to assess here. But the shot, yeah, good goal. Well, now he throws the flag.
So McComb will throw it. And so we'll have a replay here. Let's hope it doesn't take as long as that one in Hamilton last.
No, this one, they're challenging the shot clock. This one should be pretty easy. All you need to do is see a shot of the ball crossing the line of the shot clock.
No, the shot just has to hit Adam Shooter. It's a reset. So we'll have some looks here. Chris Williams will sit down and break it down on the replay. We'll do our best for you as well to do the same.
And this is, no matter which way it goes, this is a crucial timing of a goal. You know, Roughnecks to go up by 3 with 2:45 to go in the third quarter. Lots of lacrosse left to go, but you know they're starting to get on a little bit of a run.
So this is probably not going to be the one that helps us out the most. Although we do hear that buzzer go. It looks like the buzzer goes before it hits Adam Shute. That's what I thought in live real time. But we will continue to look. We just don't know if we're ever going to get a clean enough look of the shot clock and the shot.
Now there the ball's in the air. There's 1 second on the shot clock there.
See, they're watching on the monitor or on the screens at home, watching different replays than we're watching here in SaskTel. But Chris Williams is breaking it down. There's Adam Shute hoping that this one will not count. But as we sort of said, if it's a goal, it's a 3-goal lead. If it's not a goal, the Roughnecks are headed to the power play.
Either way, a chance for the teams to get to their benches right now, regroup. Everyone gathered around Jeremy Televi, the defensive coordinator for Saskatchewan Rush, talking to that short man unit.
There's a good look at it right here. There's a shot clock in the background, and it's bang, bang. And Chris Williams is definitely having a long look at this. Don't forget, next weekend, your TSN Game of the Week, Saskatchewan at Vancouver, who, as Brad mentioned, is 2-0 on this young season with road wins in San Diego and Panther City most recently this past weekend. So that will be a very juicy matchup from Rogers Arena out on the West Coast.
Yeah, and depending what happens with San Diego and Colorado right now, Vancouver might be the only 2-0 team in the West after tonight, which is...
Here's Chris Williams.
Due to inconclusive evidence, we got a good goal.
Inconclusive evidence, good goal. And the Rush bench is not pleased. And it's a 3-goal lead, 10-7 Calgary, 2:45 remaining.
Yeah, their power play unit was on the floor ready to go back out. They assumed that this one was coming back from Jesse King. But the Roughnecks with the last 3, Manning, Hayden Dixon, Jesse King, they opened the game with a 3-goal run. Now they've got another one here, late stages of quarter 3.
That's King's first goal tonight to go along with 4 assists. And it's the first goal for him or Curtis Dixon tonight. And going this long against this team to hold those 2 guys without any goals is pretty impressive. But when we come back, we'll see what the offense of the Roughnecks can do. Jesse King has made it a 3-goal game. Come back to Saskatoon. Don't miss the 2022 World Juniors. Getting Boxing Day from Edmonton and Red Deer as Team Canada looks to reclaim gold on home soil. Catch every game all tournament long only on TSN. The future of hockey lives here. It's the greatest time of the year. NLL, Grey Cup, World Juniors, and you can see it all right here on TSN.
You know, I used to think April or October were the best sporting months, but December, baby, this year has been the return of the NLL, as you mentioned, on TSN. Everything happening right now.
Roughnecks with a 3-goal lead, trying to make it a 4-goal lead. Taylor's shot is saved by Adam Shute. Gets his own rebound, and he's knocked to the ground. Good collapsing defense there by the Rush, and Rubish will stretch it across center. And he'll leave it for Josh Courier. In the corner, Shatler. Church, drive down near side. Courier, off a Lintner pick. Shatler has Powell's cutting, finds him around the world. Oh my goodness, if that would have gone in. Shatler one more and he just missed.
Still looking for his first career goal is young Marshall Powless. He's been snake bitten, he's coughed up the ball a couple times, little nerves, but team has a lot of faith in the upside of Marshall Powless. Great mentorship with Jeff Shatler. They think he's going to be a player. It's only a matter of time before one of those goes in.
Dan Taylor, low corner. Around the top off a pick from Cook. Taylor still going. Up top, Cook. Power move, spins back, can't get a shot off. And now he does and shoots. Handles it with ease.
Yeah, a couple good stops by Schutt and the Rush on these last couple plays. Now they're down by 3. They need their goaltender to step up here and make some stops.
Matthews, far side corner. Watched there by Mitch Wild. Power drive top center. Takes a couple chops delayed. Penalty coming up here as Calgary finds possession. And Mitch Wild is going to get called for holding the stick. And the Roughnecks will be shorthanded. And the Rush try to make it a 2-goal game.
Calgary penalty, 2 minutes, holding the stick.
Matthews goes hard across the floor, and Wild just hangs on, not trying to give him any space.
Hey, well, it's time for you to...
Or he ties up Keenan, rather, after
It's a rush power
he set
play.
that pick. But nonetheless, this Rush power play will go back to work their 4th time. They were 2 for 3. They scored 9 seconds into their first power play.
Church, Matthews, Keenan, Shatler, and Lintner. Matthews, Church, Keenan, one more, and it's pass picked off by Eli Salama. Can he outrun Mark Matthews? Matthews able just to stay with him and force him away from the front of the net.
Yeah,
and now Matthews is kind of stuck on D.
He might have been able to go if he hit the gas, but I think it's more important right now for the Calgary Roughnecks to use that full time. Don't go up and take a high-risk shot. Milk that clock.
Dixon far side, just as Brad said, going to try and milk some clock. Backhand flip, Hayden Dixon. Backhanded short side. Oh my gosh, that almost went in.
Yeah, you think he's feeling confident right now?
Wow. He scored an absolute wonder goal for his first in the NLL 2 years ago. And he just has all the confidence in the world to be able to throw something like that. And indeed, that was Hayden Dixon, not Curtis Dixon. Late in the quarter. Church, Matthews shoots it wide. Loose ball grabbed by Keenan. Keenan double clutch. Lindner shoots, scores! Huge goal by Dan Lindner. 2.6 left in the quarter. A power play goal. It's 10-8.
Great hesitation by Dan Lindner. They brought him in to be that power play guy, to fill that role for Ben McIntosh, but great hands here as he fakes. Del Bianco bites. Good hesitation to get the goaltender to move, and then fires it, stuffs it home. Del Bianco does get a piece of it, but it trickles in, and the Rush are within 2.
So 2.6 remaining. And it looks like we're just gonna head to the break. The Roughnecks leading by a pair as Reese Callies wins that draw clean. And that will set us up for a fantastic 4th quarter. Make sure you come back and join us. It's the NLL Game of the Week. Rush and Roughnecks from SaskTel, Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan. 10-8 your score. Calgary leading Saskatchewan as we head to the 4th quarter. Down to Chantel Chan, who's got a little more of the science between Adam Schutt's ears.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough quarter for Adam Schutt, but he's more than just a professional lacrosse player. He's actually a full-time doctor. Yeah, he earned his PhD back in October of 2020, and now he's a microbiologist and also a gastroenterologist at the University of Calgary Foothills Medical Center. Now, the cool thing about this, he's not the only doctor playing lacrosse tonight. Curtis Manning of the Calgary Roughnecks, he's a doctor as well, guys.
Thanks, Chantel. You really nailed that science term, so well done. 2-goal game. Calgary up on Saskatchewan. We wouldn't have it anyway. Thanks for joining us here on TSN. Brad Challoner, Teddy Jenner with you. And for 2 teams that don't have strictly draw guys, it's been a pretty good battle at the face-off dot all night.
It really has. 13-7, and you're just going to get entertainment when you get Courier, Messenger, 2 of the most well-rounded players in the National Lacrosse League. The more you can see of those guys on the floor doing intangibles like scrapping for loose balls is good for the game.
There's Jesse King, 5 points on the night, including the 10th goal for the Roughnecks here tonight. King with the rebound, fresh 30. Taylor. Dixon, one-on-one with Holden Garland. All the way around, good step-up defense there by Dilks. Pass doesn't connect with pace. Dilks up ahead. Dilks being chased by King. Ryan Dilks shoots. Oh, what a save by Christian Del Bianco.
Just hugging that pipe. Dilks goes airborne as he runs out of real estate. Del Bianco keeps it a 2-goal game. And Ryan Dilks, what a defensive player of the year a few years ago, but just one of the best one-on-one matchups. He's got a great stick. Can strip anybody and turns that into a transition opportunity.
Tanner Cook, far side, watched there by Rubik. Near side, Curtis Dixon. And a nice strip check there. And Holden Garland put down some backside pressure. Here's the rush. Matthews on the breakaway. Short side save, Del Bianco. Loose ball behind the net. And it'll be picked up there by Robert Church. Reset to 30. Beers will leave it there for Ryan Keenan. Far side, Robert Church. Lintner flashes to the middle. Church, watched there by Courier. Shot saved Del Bianco as he shuts the arm and keeps it a 2-goal game.
44th shot on goal for the Saskatchewan Rush. 28 for Calgary as they continue to pepper Christian Del Bianco.
Courier will leave it there for Tanner Cook. Taylor far side. Splits underneath. Won't make the pass. Will shoot it, and Adam Shue will make the save. Loose ball grab there by Messenger. Ducks underneath the check at Dan Taylor. Runs away from Andrew Mullen. Thought about a shot. Give it off to Schattler, who goes short side. Kick save and a beauty by Del Bianco. Loose ball. Schattler will fight for it. End up in the stick of Mark Matthews. Due 30. Church, late man on. Matthews, swim move. Flips up top. Keenan now far side. Josh Courier on Mitch Wild. Double clutch. Tries to get inside. And nice defense there by Mitch Wild. Stayed with Courier the whole way and then dispossessed him of the ball.
Still looking for his first goal as a member of the Rush is Josh Courier. You're right. Great footwork by Mitch Wild. Staying with Courier. Not giving him anywhere to go underneath or top side. Just keeping him at bay to the outside.
Jesse King far side, work a 2-man game with Zach Hairwires. Oh, the pass was deflected there by McClellan as Hairwires was going to be open.
Good sticks again. Doesn't matter if it's the vets or the guy playing in his second NLL game.
Good job by Corbeil to stretch the floor. Lintner watched by Courier, back to Beers, who will pass it off and go for a change. Marshall Palace now into the corner. Courier on King, driving, diving, oh, he put off the post! And Courier thinks it went in. I think that's off the post and out. McComb gonna look for a replay. King across center.
That was the underneath matchup that he liked. Courier.
And now they will throw the flag. Yeah, King on Courier is a bit of a defensive nightmare for Calgary.
Denied a goal in overtime against Halifax last week. And we'll see if he's denied another one or given one here. We get a look.
Looked like this just went off straight off the post. And this will be a good look on the overhead cam. Oh, that's in. I think that's in, Brad.
Is he going to be in the crease, though, will be the other question. That might be in, but he's on the turf.
So Chris Williams will take a quick towel off before putting on the headset and talking to the control people here to have a look at the replay.
Josh Courier really working to get his first goal as a member of the Rush. The Rush Nation thinks it's a goal as they're making some noise here.
61 games played, 86 goals, 163 points for the former 6th overall pick in 2016. Made the all-rookie team in 2017, then was traded for Ben McIntosh and a 3rd and a 2nd. For Courier, a 2nd and a 1st. And fans here inside SaskTel really think this is going to be a goal. And Chris Williams has his decision.
You know, the overhead looks like it's a goal.
Ball crosses the line before the shooter gets in the crease. We got a good goal.
Oh, wow.
Courier has his first as a member of the Rush. And it's back to a 1-goal game, 10-9.
That last TSN angle made it look like it was coming off the post. The overhead clearly showing it in, though. So Courier finally has to wait a long time to get his first goal as a member of the Saskatchewan Rush, making him work for it.
mentioned, it was just, you know, he noticed he had the right matchup with Jesse King playing defense on him. And was able to go it underneath, dives across the crease and puts it far side past Christian Del Bianco.
So both Courier brothers with a goal tonight.
And that's the second challenge for Saskatchewan, so they don't have any more. Calgary still has their challenges. 11:30 remaining here in the fourth quarter. A one-goal game, another classic between these two clubs. Remember, they didn't play during that shortened COVID season in 2019-2020. Last time these two teams played, April 20th, 2019, and the Roughnecks trounced the Rush 18-8.
Yeah, that's when they were on fire on the way to their championship. They're rolling over everybody late stages of that season, and a great playoff run, and the Rush were at the expense of that when this team was firing on all cylinders.
Here's Tyler Pace being watched by Holden Garland. Skips it to Jesse King. King watched by Messenger. King. Ice out inside feed, and that'll be a shot clock violation. Great defense by the Rush.
That's a good stand late in the lacrosse game.
Messenger to Matthews. The Rush score this next goal. The roof on Saskatchewan will blow off. Keenan never made it on target. Loose ball picked up by Dr. Curtis Manning. And then he's triple teamed. Turnover, possession, Saskatchewan. Lindner. Inside, Shatler shot. That one never made it on target. Inside beat Keenan all alone. He couldn't beat Christian Del Bianco.
Calgary wants to control now. Got to settle 5-on-5. Get that tired D off. Get a good clock here to let those guys rest.
Tanner Cook. Hayden Dixon. Down low Pace. Pace still has it. Skips it to King. Around a screenshot. Save Adam Shoot. And loose ball be grabbed there by Kyle Rubish. He'll flow it up to Matt Beers. Beers gets across the timeline, hounded there by Andrew Mullet. Marshall Palace into the corner, Jeff Shatler. Shatler, Matthews, behind the net. Dunk attempt. Courier somehow stayed out of the crease. Church into the shot clock. Fights through, takes a shot, turned aside by Del Bianco. Loose ball grabbed by Courier. Reset to 30. Good possession here by the Rush. In a tired Roughnecks defense, can they take advantage?
Great pressure.
Church again. Pass to Shatler was a ride. Loose ball picked up by Calgary. Zach Courier gonna try to run. Is that Curtis Dixon with him? Zach Courier, Dixon, low to low, save Adam Shoot. Church backhand flip Dilks. They got numbers 3-on-2. Dilks to Littner. Littner, shot save Del Bianco again. Under 9 to play. Keenan, all alone, Shatler scores! Jeff Shatler with his third, 10-10. Rush come all the way back from a 3-goal deficit again.
A hat trick at home in his final home opener. Jeff Shatler still getting it done. Talking to Jeff McComb, said maybe he said he was going to retire too soon. He's still in phenomenal shape and still firing on all cylinders with his hat trick goal to tie it in Moneyball time midway in the fourth quarter here. That's just scrambling lacrosse. Eventually something's going to happen there. Rush, we're going back and forth. Defenders were getting caught out there. Eventually there's going to be a breakdown as Shatler was all alone on the doorstep and an easy way to finish. And we got a brand new ball game with 8:32 to go.
Josh Courier. Beers on a late change will bring Littner on the floor. Courier far side. Late penalty coming up here to Easton Ticehurst. So you got to stick high up on Danny Littner. Shoot to the bench. Extra man on his Church. Matthews high and wide. Palace, one more on. It was wide open for Littner. And he couldn't quick stick it behind Christian Del Bianco. Take a break. Get some water, catch your breath. When we come back, Rush on the power play, tied at 10. Time now for tonight's save of the game, presented by Alterna Savings, and he's faced 50 shots, made 40 saves. This might be the best one so far.
Yeah, Robin Jones on a breakaway. This was at a crucial time a few minutes ago, and Calgary had the lead. They've since surrendered a couple. We're in 10-10, but Christian Del Bianco in fine form tonight. 50 shots, 40 saves, and has the Roughnecks in it in a tie game in the fourth quarter.
We thought we had our turning point, but that turning point's been turned into another turning point, so we'll keep you here.
We'll get to that unless there's another turning point.
Exactly.
That's the kind of lacrosse game it's been. But here's another power play opportunity. 5th of the night for Saskatchewan. They're 3 for 4.
Lindner, Schattler couldn't pull the trigger. Up top, Matthews. Fakes the flip now, gives to Schattler. Wanted one more to Lindner, but he was tied up on the crease by Manning. 10 on the shot clock. Matthews. Schattler, shot saved by Del Bianco. Loose ball, reset to 30. Neil Diamond and Rush Nation serenading their power play unit. Matthews, Lindner, Matthews, back to Lindner, driving save, Del Bianco. Loose ball. And Del Bianco will just sweep it to the corner to avoid the back in, but it goes right to Lindner. And then he's knocked to the ground and be picked up by the Roughnecks. 57 remaining on the minor penalty to Ethan Tyser. Rusher 3 for 5 on the power play. Still have some time remaining. Roughnecks might try and get a short-handed here, maybe a reset to kill it off. Pace doesn't get the angle. 5 on the shot clock. He's just going to eat it. Take a shot. Saved it off the left toe of Adam Shoot. And a fresh 30. And 30 remaining on the minor.
They had 2 shots the last time up the floor. One last stand here for the Calgary Roughnecks D against this power play. 20 seconds.
Keenan, Schattler, Matthews, Church, Lindner. Matthews will backpedal. Keenan switches, sets the pick. Oh, that one just goes wide. Numbers for Calgary the other way. Shane Simpson on a breakaway. Can Matthews catch him? Simpson shoots. Adam Shoot with a save.
Can we do 2 saves of the game brought to you by Alterna Savings?
Why not?
The game on Shane Simpson's
Backhand Schattler! Oh, save there by Del Bianco. Back and forth we go.
Goaltending clinic. These guys making kids want to be goaltenders right now.
Your kid included.
Wild.
Dan Taylor. Skips in the corner, Jesse King. Dixon steps around a check, takes a shot, saved there by Adam Shoot. And Pace will get called for crease. And here comes Matt Beers, all the way up ahead. Schattler passes behind him, and it'll go off the glass, and Matsuoka will track it down. Crunch time here from Sastel.
Schattler wants the ball right now. Schattler wants the Dan Dawson ending from the TSN game of the week last week.
Here's Tyler Pace. Gets a pick from Dixon, skips it to Zach Hairwires. Off a pick from Cook. Tanner Cook shoots, and he put it just wide. Dilks with a loose ball. Dilks across center. Keaton into the corner, Schattler. Flair for the Dramatics does 77. Outside shot by Marshall Palace. Doesn't get through. Ball loose. Picked up. Palace back at the Keaton. Oh, what a save by Del Bianco again.
The rookie just made up for an error there. Almost coughs it up and then picks it back up. A beautiful feed to a streaking Keenan. And then Del Bianco even better.
Taylor hounded by Matt Beers. Forced into the corner. Taylor, man open in the middle was Hairwires, couldn't find him. Loose ball picked up by the Rush. Bobby Kidd the third will flip it to Jordy Jones-Smith. He's got to get across the timeline. He does. Beers, Corbeil, and they turn it over. Wild up ahead. Ethan Tyser's. Oh, and he couldn't find the ball. Maybe, just maybe, he saw the red light already going on. And he just bobbled. Now Messenger. Lindner, Church, Schattler, saved Del Bianco, loose ball, Salama. doesn't have numbers, will pull out. King, 3.5 to go. King, near side, Curtis Dixon. Take a pick there from Hayden Dixon. King. Watch there by Dilks. Great strip check by Ryan Dilks. Out of CTO in the stats. Rubish. They'll wait for the offense to get on the floor and leave it for Jeff Shatler.
Unreal strip. Dilks wasn't even at shoot-around this morning. The team didn't practice last night. He's fresh and not missing a beat. Is one of the best defenders on earth.
Oh, what a feed from Matthews to a cutting Church. In the words of Maximus Decimus Earlius, are you not entertained? 2:45 remaining. Tanner Cook. Wouldn't he love to score a goal here to give his team the lead? Taylor, far corner. Dixon drives, pass knocked down, grabbed there by Holden Garland. And picked up by Dan Taylor now, reset to 30. New possession here for Calgary. Every 30-second possession valuable. King will carry, watched by Bobby Kidd. King, shot, oh, off the crossbar! All the way back in his own zone. Zach Currier, up ahead, Tanner Cook. King into the corner. Last 2 minutes of regulation. King, backhand flip, hair wires, shoot, scores! First of the game, Zach Hairwires, and the Roughnecks lead at 11-10.
When it matters the most, Haywires comes alive late in the fourth. Beautiful pick and roll with Jesse King as the lefties go to work. Big bump on Messenger and crashes the crease, goes airborne far side, and a big fist pump from his knees. The Gritty Wires, who I thought added a veteran presence to that left side tonight and was a good addition to the lineup after being scratched in week 1, proving his coach right with a go-ahead goal and $1:55 on the clock.
1:55 remaining. Chris Williams will check this one as it's under 2 minutes, so all goals will be automatically reviewed. And this one is pretty much as clean as they come. And so Chris Williams will just keep an eye on it, have a quick look, make sure everything is clean.
Stints in Colorado, Buffalo, New York Riptide last year, now a member of the Calgary Roughnecks.
So still lots of time here. Chris Williams, what do you say?
Crosses the goal line prior to the shooter stepping in the crease. We got a good goal.
Yeah.
So Hairwires goal counts. It's his first of the season. He didn't play last weekend in Buffalo. And that's a huge goal for the young man out of Strathroy, Ontario. Messenger wins the draw. Messenger won't take it to the hoop. We'll leave it there for Dilks. Keep an eye on Adam Shoot. Lintner into the corner, Church. Keenan flashes to the middle. Church shot saved, Del Bianco. Loose ball picked up by Liam LeClaire. Floats it up ahead. Currier. And Dixon wisely just says, hey, let's slow down, get our offense and get a full possession. Dixon double team. And dispossessed. Great job there by Corbeil and Rubish. Up ahead, Cornwall. Keenan off the bench. Shot knocked down, picked out of the air by King. No call on the penalty. And it'll be grabbed there by Manning, will get across center. Matsuoka bounced it, Dixon, double team, Pace. Oh, Calgary almost had too many men. Last minute of regulation. Shane Simpson. We'll go far side, Jesse King. 5 on the shot clock. Cutting pace, and it's picked off by Ryan Dilks. Rush can't call a timeout, shoot to the bench. Oh, Dilks has numbers. Dilks, one more shot, and what a save, Del Bianco! And Saskatchewan can hold for the final possession.
His 6-on-5 shot, shoot on the bench.
Church, Keenan, back to Church. Shot, Zeke Del Bianco, ball loose, it'll fall on his crease, and Calgary doesn't want a timeout. And will they call a timeout now? Yes, they will. I think Kurt Malosky saw they didn't really have numbers. Christian Del Bianco didn't have a clean guy to pass to, so he'll just call a timeout.
Rush did a good job locking off, but Jeff Shattler, I said a minute ago, he wanted to be, he wanted to be the hero, and he gets a beautiful feed by Dilks, goes airborne upstairs, and Christian Del Bianco has just settled in to phenomenal form in the second half of this lacrosse game. He's been probably going to be the first star of this lacrosse game if I've got a vote. He stays 59 shots and just save after save after save in the fourth quarter.
Shots 59-36 in favor of the Rush, but they trail by one. 8.2 left. They'll probably start with Adam Shute on the bench, try and cause a turnover. Time now for our Fanatics turning point of the game, brought to you by Fanatics.ca. It was the save of the game, and now we're going to give them the turning point of the game, as Christian Del Bianco has just been absolutely phenomenal in this last few stretches, and that save was a massive one to keep it a one-goal game.
I'm glad we saved it, because a game like this, the turning points were coming fast and furious here in the fourth quarter, and yeah, none bigger than that Del Bianco save off Shattler a few seconds ago.
So 8.2 is up on the clock. Dixon's going to start with it by his own crease. He's got Cornwall and Beers on him. He might just try to run to space, then ice it down the floor, then have a muck a loose ball. You don't want to lose it in your own zone this late in a contest. Couple jab steps, throw it as far as you can, and let the time run out.
They've got their fastest legs on the floor. Salama, Simpson, Courier, Wild.
They're not too worried about scoring a goal here. They just want to prevent it. Del Bianco's going to try and run a little interference for Curtis Dixon. Dixon finds space, pivots, and he will just throw it in an empty corner, and this game is over, and the Calgary Roughnecks, off an outstanding performance by Christian Del Bianco, take this 11-10 on the road for their first win of the season.
A huge bounce-back game for the Calgary Roughnecks after a collapse in Buffalo. Saskatchewan's now lost 2 one-goal games in a row. This is just a prairie rivalry that lived up to the billing tonight. Phenomenal lacrosse here on the TSN Game of the Week. The Roughnecks are in the win column.
What an outstanding game by both clubs. When we come back, we'll break it all down for you. The Roughnecks win it in dramatic fashion, 11-10 at the NLL Game of the Week on TSN.
Seasonal financial services and puts the good in banking. Visit Alterna.ca to learn more. By Fanatics.ca, the NLL's home for officially licensed everything. Visit Fanatics.ca today. And by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. Guaranteed Rate. Believe you will.
We're 2 for 2 on outstanding games here in the TSN Game of the Week. Next week, probably another one. The Rush head to Vancouver to take on the Warriors. 0-2 versus 2-0.
Exactly. Something's got to give. Rush haven't started 0-2 since 2017, so it's been a long time. Do they go 0-3? I don't know. Warriors are humming right now.
And there's an updated look at your Alterna Cup standings.